Okay, everybody, we're going to try and give you a little bit of training on how to use this console. We are looking at the Audio Arts R55E broadcast console, and it's what we've got, and so we're going to show you how this all works. First of all, we're going to go and take a look from left to right, and we're going to look at the channel assignments. So we're going to zoom in here so that y'all can see what's going on. Basically, on channel 1, we have mic number 1. Let's back up here so it doesn't anti-focus for us. Channel number 2 is mic number 2. Channel 3 is turntable 1. Channel 4 is turntable 2. Channel 5 is CD number 1. Channel 6 is CD number 2. Channel 7 is the auxiliary in, and channel 8 is the input from the computer. So that's what we're going to use for playback on the computer. Alright, let's take a look at the channel modules themselves, and we'll go up the button here, and basically these two buttons on the bottom row are, as we zoom out so that you can get another orientation, that's what we're looking at right here. So we're going to zoom in, and the controls on the bottom are called keys, and they are your on-off switch. These are in the off position, and in order to make them active, you push the red button up on top. Alright, and you can see above the keys are the faders, and let me see if I can't give you a nice example of what a good level ought to be on the fader. Generally it's about 3/4, 2/3 to 3/4 up, and actually that's a little bit low. So what we'll do is we'll go over here and we'll move that up a little bit, and that's kind of what we want to be. Let me see if I can zoom in and I can show you on the channel next to it. There's two little dots. And the two little dots are between the -10 and negative, what is that, 12 decibels? 10, 15 possibly. Actually, it's between the 10 and the 15, so it's probably about minus 12 on the scale if we were going to do that. But basically that's where you put your fader, and you can kind of see mine's right up there like it's supposed to be, and hopefully that should be a good level. Alright, so we're going to zoom out a little bit so you can get orientation, and above the faders is the Q button, as we see, Q, and that will output to your headphones and a little speaker on the right hand side. And Q, as you all know, is so that you can listen in the studio really shortly and not have to worry about giving your audience a taste of what you're listening to. You can get things ready to go in Q and then put them back in program. And let's see, we always want to demonstrate if possible. Let's push the button, and you can see the blinky light blinks, or not blinks, but it goes solid red. So that's a good sign. You're in Q if you press this button down and it lights up. Okay, let's go up and take a look. This right here is a normal channel configuration. These buttons here are called assigns, and they send the channel to the output bus that we use to have signals leave the console. And you can see that we've got 3 buses that we don't use for the most part, and 1 bus that we do use all the time. So the pre, the mono, and the audition bus we don't really use except for let's see if we can do this. Yeah, except for the computer. Let's see, we'll take this out here because it shouldn't be in program, but it ought to be in audition. Okay, there we go. And so that is how that channel should be. Channel 8 should be in audition and not program. So anyway, the next button that we'll never use at this point is the AB switch. And if you see these things that are pressed down, they are to select the B input for that channel, and we don't have anything plugged in there currently, so you don't need to use it. We've got tons of empty space on the board, so we probably won't ever use those. Okay, let's take a look. Up here past the 2 meters, you can see, let's move the telephone out of the way here, put that over there, move the microphone out of the way a little bit. Okay, your left meters are your program audio, and left and right is what we've got, and basically you all know that a good level is closest to the 0 in that middle range right there between, say, 80 and 100%, or 60 and 100% rather, and then probably about -5 to about 0. And you can peak up into +1 maybe, but it's not a good idea. Generally keep your levels at 0 or 100% tops. Okay, so that's the program meters, and that's for left and right. Over here you have selectable meters for all kinds of good stuff, and you guys probably won't use those, but I'm excited because I probably will. So there's that. And then you have over here, which you can't really see because it's kind of dark, is the Q speaker. So there's a little mono speaker that is the output of the Q bus. Okay, let's take a look and see if we covered everything. That is the whole dynamic section right over here. And now we'll go over here and we'll take a look at the monitor section. Monitor section is really cool. We have a talkback button, which you won't need to use. We have a switch, 2 knobs. The bottom one is the control room audio, and that's the speakers here in the control room. And then above that, you have the headphone audio, and it's labeled HDPN. And you can probably see it down in there, HDPN, and that stands for headphones. Then over here you have a non-functioning knob, and that's the studio. And we don't have a studio connected to this control room, so you don't have to worry about that one. Over here to the right is, or the left actually, is the Q level control. So that right there controls your Q speaker, and I'm pretty sure it controls the volume in your headphones too when you're dealing with Q. So who knows? But anyway, these up here, these are the modules the monitor assigns. So most of the time we are going to see that this board should be listening to air, because I'm in here working, I have to keep track of the radio station, all that good stuff. But when you're using the production studio, we are going to have it assigned to program, because that's your main output bus, and so you want to have the board hear what you're doing. So program is what you're going to use. When you listen to outputs from the computer, you're going to want to switch it to audition, so that you you can kind of see what we did. The computer's over there in audition, and the monitor is also set to audition. So that's what you're going to use if you want to hear the computer, and then this is what you're going to use if you want to send signals to the computer and hear them. So that's how that works. This is a monitor output. It's not affecting the signal that goes to the computer. It's just a monitor so you can hear what's going on. And we've got some other switches over here too, which are for designating the Q signals, I think. Well, no, these are meter select switches, so that's kind of cool too. We could listen to, if we wanted to, we could have the EXT1, and so that would basically tell us the air signal. I don't have that configured right yet, it doesn't seem to be working. And then you could listen to program, but you could listen to program, but since you already got the 2 on the left doing that, you don't need that. You could listen to audition if you'd like. You could put that up there. So that might even be a good standard configuration, so that you have both program and audition capability too. So here again, more complexity than you folks are probably going to need, but it's cool to have it and then not. Also too, a nifty little thing. Let's see if we can go down here to this. This is the, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Over on the very left hand side, you got this nifty timer, and it is telling us that it's been 10 minutes and 51 seconds since I powered up the board. Apparently the timer starts working when it gets power, so that's how that works. So let's go and examine our monitor, our timer switches. Okay, let me get out of the glare of the light here so we can kind of see what's going on. And you see on the very bottom, it's probably a timer reset. And nope, it's a hold is the number, a button. And then there's the reset, which is above that. And then, what's that other one? Start, stop. Okay, so that pretty much is the deal. If you want to use the thing to hold at a certain point, and then continue on, like you're timing out your segments or something, you can use it for that. So most of the time, we're going to push the start, stop, and see if the thing stops. It is stopped. So that's good. Now we're going to push the reset, And here we go. It says 0 like it should be. And of course, it looks like we have minutes and seconds. So that's pretty much what we've got here. So we'll take a look here, and then we will push the start button. This is particularly handy if you're timing segments within your show. You don't need to worry so much about this because we've got the elapsed time on the recorder, which isn't up yet. So you already know about the recorder. We might talk a little bit about that too. But at this point, we're going to go over here, and I'm pressing the start button. And then we're going to zoom in and see if, lo and behold, it doesn't start again. It does not start again. Why? Did I not push the right button? I didn't push the right button. Let's try this again. Okay. Shazam. All right, now that's what we want right there. Okay, now let's go ahead and press the hold button. And button is, oh, it's a press toggle button. You just hold it, and then when you let off the button, you resume at the actual time, not from the point that you started. It's the actual time that's elapsed since you stopped pressing that button, or started pressing that button. So here we go. That's the deal. We're pretty excited about that. Nifty, nifty timers. Ooh, technology is a wonderful thing. So let's go and reset it and get everything the way it's supposed to go. Alrighty, so I'm pretty sure, oh, hey, one final thing here with the board. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to see this, but we'll take a look and see. I'll tell you what, let me see if I can't give the camera a break here, see if I can get it to do its low light thing, so you can kind of see down in the lower right hand corner is the headphone output, and you can kind of barely see it in there. I should have brought out my little flashlight, but you can kind of see it. It's really dark in here, so that's kind of the deal. But it's a headphone output. You can feel it with your finger. It takes a 1/4 inch stereo headphone plug, and you can find an adapter pretty much anywhere if you have an 1/8 inch mini plug on your headphones. And if you have guests, we'll show you the headphone amplifier as we give time for the camera to sort of get itself back together again using the autofocus and low light. So let me see if I can, let me see if I can give some light to the subject here. All right, a little bit more light. Let's see if that helps. It helps a little bit. And as you can see, we've got headphone amplifiers here. So what that means is basically 4 outputs on the headphones. And we'll zoom into one so that you can kind of see. You've got up on the upper right hand corner, you got controls for bass and treble, and then you've got a volume control down there, and you've also got a balance control, I'm pretty sure. And then there are different buttons to tell you whether you can listen to left, right, or both, or mono. And then you've got a headphone output. And then, what is that other thing there? You got some other kind of auxiliary in, which I do not understand why that is. But headphone output is what you want right there. It says phones out. And sorry about the jitteriness. It's a pretty tight zoom I got going on here. So anyway, you got 4 outputs of those, and then you'll know for sure if everything's working because you've got level controls that tell you, or level indicators that tell you signal input too. So that's kind of the deal. And most of the time we configure that, so you don't have to worry about that. But all of these headphones here should work, so you should be able to have your guests have a set of headphones. Now, down underneath, we'll do this again, even though you probably saw this in the first video. This is the auxiliary input, and we have 2 XLR inputs, left and right, and that's what you use if you want to plug your iPods or computers or anything. We've got stereo output on mix 2, and that's so that if you want to send something, you guys probably won't use this, but at least we got the capability. And then mic 2 is patchable now, so until we put a boom over there on the right hand side, we'll just use the desk stand and we can patch cables right into that input. So that's kind of handy. And by the way, if you have a headset that outputs microphone with the XLR, you could plug the headset into the mic 2 input and then use the headphone output. So that if you know about headsets, the mic and the headphone output are grouped together fairly closely. So now you've got your choice. You can either use output 4 or output 3, if you want to use your headset. So here again, that's a pretty slick little thing, and we just that occurred to me a couple of days ago. It wasn't like we designed it that way, but the mark of a good studio installation and design is that it is ready for anything you can throw at it. And we've already seen lots of capability in this thing so far. Of course, this is your telephone interface, and you can put calls on the air. You can hook the phone system up to the board through the interface. Now, I'm guessing, yeah, everything, this is how it's supposed to be configured. There's an online button, and you press the online button when you are going to take a call. But I will make a training video about that too. So anyway, that's the telephone interface. And then here's a nifty, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not, because they're getting in pretty close here. Let's see, and it says, "Nothing behind here concerns you." So that's pretty funny. Engineering humor right there. Not that we don't want you to feel wanted here. We just don't want you to touch certain things. So that clues you right in there. And anyway, we've got the CD players. You all know how to use those, but maybe I'll put together some kind of video later on. And then above that, we have, as I try to stand up, I'm getting old, folks. Anyway, over here we have additional support gear, and it's behind a cage, so that clues you into that's engineering area. Okay, I think that's about it. At this point, the creation of the video here, we still have to put turntables online, and we got to get some preamps going. But that's yet to come, and it'll be here shortly. So we'll have to stay tuned for those. And of course, whenever you use turntables, you'll have the good sound of the preamps, because we're upgrading those. And the telephone is here, and that's pretty standard. This is our computer. What else we got? Oh, something else. Let me show you this really nifty thing as I reach over. When you turn on the microphone, this studio. Okay, here's the telephone phone flasher, and that lets us know that somebody's on the microphone, and you should not open the studio door. So that's kind of the deal. So this is what you see, and I got to take that phone call. So I'm going to tell y'all adios. Tune in again next time for other future developments.